Alright guys, so today we're going to take a look at the IV activity here. Before we even read through the intro though, let's think about a different situation that will be related to this IV activity here. So when you walk into McDonald's and you order a drink, they hand you an empty cup. And when you take this empty cup over to the counter to get your drink, there is not a can of soda or a 2-liter of pop there waiting for you to just pour into your cup, right? You have to actually use the pop machine to pick what drink you want. And when you use the pop machine, the restaurant doesn't have these huge vats of Coke and Sprite and every other drink that they have available sitting there behind the pop machine, because that would take up way too much space. It would be way not impractical to have all this Coke prepared for everybody that was going to come through McDonald's that day. So the way a pop machine works is for every possible selection of pop, it has a bag of syrup attached to it. And if you've not worked with a pop machine before, when I say syrup, think actual like maple syrup consistency. So it's not something you would drink at all. So the Coke is hooked up to a bag of Coke syrup. The Sprite is hooked up to a bag of Sprite syrup. And so it is of a maple syrup consistency. Now, that's not something you drink though. What happens is that syrup is mixed with carbonated water by the pop machine. And so when you press down that you want Coke, it's pulling the Coke syrup and the carbonated water in correct proportions, mixing those two things together before it comes out and gives you the Coke that you actually drink. So as we are walking through the intro to the activity, I want you to keep that instance in mind, and it's going to help us think about what we're doing medically here. So if we look at the top of our paper, it says, as a pharmacy technician, you will be required to compound by reducing the strength of a concentrated solution known as stock solution. And so in our analogy, guys, the concentrated solution, the stock solution, is the syrup that's used to make your drink at McDonald's. And we want to take this concentrated solution, this stock solution, and we want to get it to a lower strength. We want to get it to something that is actually usable for a patient. So we're taking the syrup from the pop machine and we're actually converting it into a soda that we would actually drink. And so when we do this medically, this procedure is called a dilution. We are diluting the stock solution. For an example, you might need to prepare a 3% IV solution from a 10% stock solution. So the stock solution was much too concentrated. It was 10%. That was something we weren't going to use with a patient. We needed a 3% solution. We need to dilute this stock solution. So why does this happen? Well, the stock on hand is often going to be more concentrated, much stronger than what's actually needed for human use. That's so that we can make large quantities from it. Just like McDonald's uses the syrup to make your soda rather than storing cans or 2 liters or anything else, it's space efficient to help then just be diluted and make larger quantities. And so if you're working at a medical facility, there's going to be many things they don't have the space to store. So rather than ordering it in the concentration that they need it in, they'll order a much more concentrated version that can be diluted down once it's on site and when it is needed. So our next paragraph here says, suppose you need to use a stock solution of medication T, which has strength 20%. And we're reminded that the percent strength means the number of grams of medication per 100 milliliters of solution. And so on the remainder of this first page, we've got 4 review questions that are going to help us review what it means when we're working with strength of solution. After you've taken a look at these 4 questions and made sure that you're going through things correctly when you're working with strength of solution, go ahead and take a look at IV activity video 2.